Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name's Preston. I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
Hello, and we're back with Meta.
We're back with Meta, and we wanted to jump straight into the exact same leader multiple times. I think it's one of the most exciting leaders of this set, and it's also probably it's most exciting because it's the most diverse. Um,
Yeah,
we can jump into the first one, which I
yeah.
think we're just having a name of all good cards, right? Or is
Uh,
this family? This is
we're
family.
doing family first. This is the
Yeah.
tweet. They didn't say too much. Uh, I'm gonna link them down below, of course.
Mhm.
But this is just what we expected when we saw the set, what it was gonna look like. We just stuck all of the Don Quixote cards into one deck, added a couple other good cards to fill out the space,
Mhm.
and voila! And it works. There's a lot of really annoying things, a lot of things that keep things tapped, a lot of things that make them taste tapped, and we have probably the best two purple cards that we could play in Queen and Hell's Judgment.
Yeah, I mean they're the most free to play. You don't need to worry about them getting in the way of archetypes or anything. They're just a good card that either gives you draw or one of the best counters purple has.
Yeah.
Um, I could see you throwing in like Blast Breath or something like that, but I just think that Hell's Judgment is just generally better,
Yeah.
even though it costs a little bit more. But this is a cool way. This is kind of what we were expecting to see when we saw it. Green got the best, I think, archetype full stop.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
getting to see people actually play it that way is exciting for me.
Yeah, not a lot of other colors besides probably Avant can say that, where their archetype was just successful in their own little pocket without adding too much.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, they
and I,
got everything they needed.
they had just enough to be get off the ground running. They won a regional, so shout outs to them. But I think all this deck, especially the construction, really reflects how cool the leader is. Being able to leave two untapped leaves these all this space for these two cost events,
Mhm.
which are quite nasty. We're missing Punk Gibson as well if we wanted to really dig into the two drops.
Mhm.
But green has some of the best, and purple has the best, and
Mhm.
just works really well together. And I like all the defensive capabilities. You're able to walk into a lot of different matchups and be successful. These hit a lot of the key targets in the White Beer deck, and just red, I guess. This hurts Lucci. This hurts, Katakuri is very mid rangey. This matches up pretty well.
Yeah, it has a decent number of 2K counters. The Don Quixote family got two, which is crazy. So throwing in ISO is an easy third. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get to play Senior Pink, and that's all that really matters, is you get to have this hard-boiled guy sitting there in his baby bib.
It doesn't get more
And
hard boiled.
I think it's a good card too, so it makes it worth it that it's a fun character also.
No, of course. And this is probably one of the version of that I'm the most excited to play because these
Mhm.
characters are all so different but so interesting.
Mhm.
Love it.
Yeah, he has a great family, so getting to see them all in the same deck is really nice.
Yeah. And they're actually good. That's the real kicker.
Yeah, and
That's
all
the
of them are
kicker.
actually
Yeah,
good.
that's the kicker.
Yeah.
Jumping into the next one. This was one that, we had talked about on the channel for a while. We had a green purple leader, so what can we make out of this? And it was this interesting film package from the starter deck in set one, the Shanks one, and then the little package that we got in set two. We can combine it with this new leader, and it's really good. This is probably the one that's the most popular right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think a lot of people saw this and it was the first thing they wanted to do. I
Mm-hmm.
think people are playing it whether it's the best version of this deck or not, mostly because they get to play really interesting cards. Uh, Being able to play the 7-drop Luffy that's a blocker, which is has a crazy effect to be able to. I think he pulls basically the whole deck onto the board,
Everything
minus
but
the. Yeah,
Diamante.
he gets to play basically anything. And then you can also play it into Brook,
Mm-hmm.
and Brook can play everything to the left of him,
Mm-hmm.
which is insane. To be able to pay 7 cost, get a 4K and a 3K is disgusting. I know when I was messing around with green during set 2, I played this in a Kinemon just to do that combo. To my detriment, I lost that match, but it was funny. And now you actually get to support that silly combo
Right.
with Buena Vista being able to search pretty much the whole deck, and Nami being, I think, the most overlooked searcher up to this point, because now it's just incredible. On play and on attack,
Yep.
search, that's really nice to have.
Yeah. Luffy is an incredible card. It's probably the big differences between these two decks. There's a lot of defense in this one, just like the last one. It's just a little more in your face. You could Luffy into Uda, and those are two of the worst blockers you want to see. Very, very difficult to deal with. And if you overcommit, they're going to drop the 10-drop Doffy on you. It's a very brutal combo. Buena Vista is also a 2K on top of it. We're going to keep seeing Hell's Judgment and Spiderweb in all of these decks. Punk Gibson's the other one that we talked about last time. These 2 cost event cards are very, very good in Doflamingo. And you just have a lot of protection for these very mean character cards. And if you let them get Guild going, that's probably the underrated card in this deck. Being able to draw on top of it, on top of these 2 searchers, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, I mean, just the Dofi leader giving you the ability to always have 2 Dawn up on your opponent's turn is giving you advantages that no other leader has. I think that's also why people like Dofi alone is a reason to play any of these decks that we talk about today. It's unlike anything we have right now, and it's obnoxious about it, I think, because we get green, which has been a pretty decent to great color, with the support of purple, which has been crap, but it has spice, and all you have to do is take little pieces of those spices and throw it into something interesting, and now you have an annoying deck that your opponent's not going to know how to deal with, really, because let's say you play a tournament, a big tournament. You could come up against all 3 of these, and you're going to have to play different against every single one of them. So it's really annoying to see a Dofi because you don't know what you're going to get. And then if you end up getting the 10-drop dropped on you and they still have 2 Dawn up, disgusting. Because then you have 3 cards that you can't play, and one of them could be your leader. And if you're not playing one of the non-attack leaders, you have to deal with that. Just imagine having your Whitebeard rested for a turn.
It's game ending.
Gross.
Yeah, there's and you said obnoxious. I'm like, wow, I think Dofi would be really proud if that was his effect. Yeah, that lore accurate. Film, very fun. I think there's a lot of different ways we could play it. This is just one way, and I'm really excited about this archetype as well. And then the last one is a little different. We wanted to reflect on Queen. Queen has been a very popular leader. They're playing just good cards. They're not really filling in with their leader effect too much. That wasn't like the idea of it. And we found a Dofi that was kind of similar. We found one that kind of just comboed a bunch of the good green cards from earlier sets. Very little purple, not a shocker. And I think this works as well. I think there's a lot of versions that we could play that aren't just hard focused on one of the 2 archetypes we mentioned before. And we play a combination. We play, just a bunch of good cards. We still have 2 searchers in the Dofi event card and Jewelry Bonnie.
Yeah, this is an interesting build too, because you're getting to play whatever you want. And it's kind of like what I was alluding to at the end of that last one is you can just throw in whatever you want with this leader, and his effect is great. He's not going to stop you from playing any one type of thing. So if you want to play supernovas and some good purple stuff like Queen, surprisingly, this one's not running Judgment.
That's the one I would always wish. You got to be playing this one, but I think for this specific deck, we're looking at counts. We have to mix the supernovas and the Dofi family very evenly. I think it's hard for them to probably even fit Miss Sunday or Rizo in here because they don't fit, but they're such good beneficial cards if you can, play them from, there's a huge plus for those 2, and maybe just not enough from Hell's Judgment when you have other event cards that are pretty good that we can pull out of our searches. But that shows you the versatility. We're seeing this law here as well. That's, you know, we've seen before, but this is a little different version of them. You're able to protect different cards, maybe your sugars. Very annoying. I think there's a more hope for these types of decks as well, especially if purple gets any good. That's like the real kicker. Like maybe,
Yeah, exactly.
like maybe, but you never know. Like it's such a coin flip.
Yeah, and it's really cool because like this deck is playing Raizo, but I could see you if you wanted to play more defensive. If the meta called for it, you could be playing the 2-drop killers
Yeah.
that allow you to draw on block.
Yeah. Sure.
You could technically, I would have to look into it, but playing a full Wano package with Momo, very similar to what everyone also was already playing with Kinemon. I wonder how that plays.
Yeah.
It's just this leader is inspiring also.
Yeah.
That you just look at the green cards and go, oh, I got a couple good packages I could work with here. Let me throw in Queen and Hell's Judgment and see if it works.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. It's similar to what Zoro does when just take cards and do stuff with them.
Yep. Whatever the best
Doesn't
package
matter.
is, yeah.
Yeah, whatever the best package is, just play that and play Zoro because he gives you plus 1k.
Yeah.
Or play Dovi because you're going to have 2 Dawn standing at the end of every turn regardless.
Yeah.
And sometimes more, so.
Absolutely. Other than the East Blue set, I think Green has good. I think we have good access to it. I'm sure a Wano version would work. You know, we have good cards like Cat Viper, and there's a lot of good defensive options as well. So yeah, I see no reason for it to work. And we're also on top of this creativity. We're on radar for any good purple archetypes that come out, any future green archetypes that come out. Doffy is always going to be on watch, I think, with this leader effect. So deck building is always going to be a lot of fun with the pink bird.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem with East Blue cards is I think all of them require, or a lot of them require your leader to be East Blue, which really limits them. Because there's some good cards there. You just have to play Kuro or Arlong, I think.
I think Krieg works. I think Krieg is a card I can see splashed around. I don't think that one requires too much.
Right.
But the rest of the cards are either trigger or require East Blue, and they don't fit too well. But you could have one set that you could turn a blind eye to. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay for them to have a bad set because their other 2 sets are really good.
3
Unlike
now.
Purple. I mean, I guess Purple is getting it lets you spice up your Dofi deck, and that's okay. And you could confuse the hell out of people by playing more purple cards, and they don't know what you're going to play next. So,
you know,
it's interesting. It's very interesting in that way.
Impel Down Dofi coming soon. Magellan coming to a town near you. Gotcha. Whoever lasted this long.
You just had to say Magellan. That's the thing, is you couldn't go without talking about him.
It's been about 24 hours, so yeah, the time I got an alarm on my watch. It was time to talk about it. But that's the end of this meta video. We're really excited about this leader, especially as a Western. I'm so excited about him. I think we here are going to love him. But we wanted to bring you a couple different versions of the deck that we've seen. But please, in the comments, post other ones. Dev links, Twitter links of other really cool Doffy decks. We would love to see them. And if you're still here, please consider doing the YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye. You think if I sing the song instead of letting it play, they'll notice?
No, you should definitely do that one.
Alright, yeah, I think so.
They'll never know. They'll never know.
They'll be like, wow, what a normal ending to this video. Gotta be able to hit that high note, though. Yikes.
Yeah.